Okay. Ah, there we go. I think it should pick up the audio now. I was silly
Ah,
hitting
there you go. Yeah,
auto
it's on there.
Cool,
Coming.
cool, cool. I'll get the hang of it in like next
Oh.
10 years. Okie dokie. So, for our slightly shorter session today, we'll pick up where we left off with a brief summary. So, last session, the party was able to determine the true meaning of a number of secret notes held by the local degenerate Barry. Initially, he tried to deceive you, but you learned that the 3 notes he had said: 1. A red-headed gentleman has fallen in the alley behind Barker's troop. Take care of him. Wear this outfit so that he knows you. 2. A merchant wants an escort to Willow Lake. Be careful that his gold doesn't weigh him down. Make sure he empties his pockets before going for a swim. And 3. Deliver this to the usual place in BB. Don't be followed. So the party learnt and gleaned from this that BB stood for Brigand's Bog, a lawless swamp to the east of the city. Barry, ever an opportunist, and saw the opportunity to get a bit more coin and offered a deal. If he told the party where to find a mysterious metal box, then upon the party retrieving it, he would ask for only 10% of the contents, but he didn't know what they were. As the party went about town acquiring equipment and awaited their rendezvous with Barry, Jacob sought out local smuggling contacts and met with a surly dockmaster in charge of the customs office at the Haven docks. This gentleman mentioned that he knew of a number of opportunities, but he wanted Jacob to prove himself first and do a small favour for the dockmaster. It turns out that a shipment of ore and ingots had gone missing while being transported to Rill, which is the nearest large city on the way to Aximundi City, the capital of this realm. And that rumour had reached the dockmaster that a group of bandits in Brigand's Bog had recently come across a large and valuable cache of ingots and ore. As the party made their way to Brigand's Bog, they discovered a large dead tree that Barry had previously told them contained the metal box that he had multiple times been sent to retrieve. Inside, Jacob found a metallic box in the tree, which was long dead and hollowed out. He then felt a strong urge to enter the woods alone and take the box with him. Temerity, noticing the slightly odd behavior of his new friend, followed and himself picked up the box and also felt a strong urge to do what the voices in his head, a soft and lilting, confident voice, told him, which was to hide the box. Finally, Devon, who had been observing from some distance, was placed under a similar level of allure, and felt equal compulsion to do as the voice bid him. The group squabbled over the box, and just as they were about to come to blows, Devon finally managed to overcome the influence, and upon opening the box, the group found a number of acorns, each surrounded by a transparent, rubbery layer of material. It was around the time of the box's opening that a dryad came forth from I think it was a swirl of leaves, and materialized, and through diplomacy and a bit of cunning, the group was able to avoid a messy fight in the forest and returned the acorns to the dryad and learned that the box was one of many that had been destined for a band of thugs to be found in Brigand's Bog to the south, with the dryad indicating that were the group able to stop these bandits and to recover any acorns, they would be rewarded. And the session ended with the party making their way south with the goodwill of the forest and the dryad, who they had not befriended but also not killed, to aid them. So, leaving the dryad behind you, what do you do?
We head south into the bandit.
Yeah,
Well, that's very direct.
We gotta know what we're dealing with. We gotta at least get eyes on it.
Oh, and for your memory, in case you've forgotten, as you, I think it was Devon and Demarty. No, it was Jacob and Demarty. Sorry, Devon was busking outside. As you left the dockmaster's office, he shouted to you, "Watch out for the dog," or something to that effect.
Mm-hmm. He did.
I
Yeah.
think he had a Scottish accent. Just bearing in
He
mind.
did have a voice, something like that. Yeah.
Well,
Everyone's voice is a little different when you try to remember them.
Mm-hmm.
I think it's safe to say that we want to head south with
Agreed.
a quiet approach, keeping our eye out for a dog.
Yeah, we should definitely keep it quiet after here.
Yeah,
Okay.
then.
So
Let's start going.
you're through you're in a fairly large forest. There's a quite distinctive path for you to follow. Sufficiently prominent that even Barry was able to find it. And we all know the mental ability of Barry from our last session.
Indeed.
But it's quite a long way. So as you're kind of plodding along, you set out early morning, I think. It takes you. I'm pretty sure it was early morning.
Very early morning. Thursday, 7.
And you go up some shallow hills, and the terrain starts to get increasingly steep before then descending further. The trees start to change from very verdant green in the forest proper into slightly darker shades, more deadfall, less light coming through the canopy. And then as you're trudging further down, the path in front of you starts to become harder to follow. Until eventually, it seems to meander off into two different directions, neither of which is particularly well travelled. You have one going left through, unsurprisingly, dark woodland, and one going off to the right again through dark woodland.
Do they vary drastically in direction, or
You
are
can
they
see
like
that
kinda in the same-ish?
both seem to go off into curves further on. So you can see a few 100 feet down either one, and then they both kind of turn corners to the point where you can't see them anymore for the foliage.
Mm-hmm.
Is there any indication that one or either of them has been recently travelled?
No obvious indications, but if you'd like to test your survival or perception skill,
I will perceive it better than I would survive it.
Mm-hmm.
hmm.
Alright, hell yeah.
Not bad.
I
It's a
perceive
nice
the
21.
shit out of these.
Yeah, you as you crouch down and have a look at this pathway at the area where it diverges off, you see that although both have a thin layer of rainwater still in various parts, it's a very soggy bit of terrain you're on. One has what appears to be a rut from a wheel, which is fully filled in now with water. The other, you can see that
What
on the
one wheel? Like
a
one.
single wheel,
Okay.
Like a wheelbarrow.
Yeah, like a wheelbarrow. That's what I'm thinking.
the other path is even more wet, and you can make out what are quite small footprints, definitely humanoid, going along the side of the puddle. So almost at an angle. Trying to think how to describe this,
Mm-hmm.
so that they're tilted 30 degrees or so in the slope of the mud as it goes down into the puddle
Yeah.
to avoid the wetness. In terms of age, given the how wet it is, it certainly looks like the footprints are fresher.
And they're going away from us or towards us?
Both.
Okay. I relay said information.
I say we go after the one with the wheel track. You gotta carry a bunch of ignates, so you'd need something to carry it.
See, I'm just worried about going the direct approach. But of
well, we
course,
just
we
need to
don't know. We don't know if the other path leads there too. Could lead
Don't
somewhere
know.
else.
The other path could also lead us to someone who knows these woods quite well, who may be able to help. Well,
maybe. But either or, I don't plan to just
small
walk.
footprints, right? Like
Yeah.
Yeah.
Child-sized, I guess.
Can I wait, what am I? I've been about, like I've traveled to a few different realms and things. Would I be able to identify what kind of race these footprints would be? What kind of creature?
You can certainly
With,
try.
I don't know what you'd require.
probably a survival.
Yeah, she's trying to identify prints, so I think survival.
Yep.
11.
Okay. You can't tell anything about the race, but you can tell that it is a covered foot. It's not skin on
Oh,
mud.
okay, okay.
There is something.
There's some sort of shoe wear.
Yeah, you can't tell whether it's shod or whether it's cloth bindings or what it is, but it's definitely not. There are no indents of toes.
Yeah,
and
there's
the heel
no
isn't pronounced.
Okay. Well, I guess wherever it is, it's not wild. It's someone.
Think either of these will lead us to something important. So should we just pick one?
I'll vote little.
I like the Devon's idea. Going after the
Alright then.
footprints.
Go that way then.
Remember, we don't know this. They could be bad news. They could be
I say let's stay careful and stay
a
quiet.
neutral third party that might have their grievances of their own against. Who knows?
Could give us a few options. We proceed in stealth. Sounds good.
Good.
Okay, we do a sneak. We do a move.
Okay.
Sneaky move.
Can I get sneaky move? Thank you.
Oh,
Uh-huh.
yes, yes, yes.
Okay. Fairly stealthy group.
Fine.
Cool. So you seed down this wet path with the small footprints following them as you go along. As I say, there's prints coming to and fro. Sometimes they seem to be you know, parallel with one another. Other times they're crossing. And you proceed down this pathway quietly for it seems like about 20 minutes. You notice a lot of noise from birds the deeper you proceed. You notice also that the amount of cover atop the forest, blocking out the light, is also increasing as you're going further in. After about 20 minutes, as I say, the path is flooded out. You're at a shallow ford. The
See the path
for
beyond.
you can, yes. It's only about 6 foot. This flooding.
Oh right.
Like a big puddle.
As I say, shallow ford. Think like in between fields rather
I
than
see,
a river.
I see.
And the forest banks have started to build up on either side of the path. So it's there is scrabbled earth as you seemingly going further down as you're now encountering large bodies of water. As I say, about 6 foot across the path.
Do we see the tracks continuing beyond?
From here, no.
I'll run and then try to jump off of a tree over the 6 feet.
Okay.
Devon just wades through it.
Yeah, so Samarity, how are you using this tree in your running jump?
Basically as a springboard. I try to get some momentum leading up to the tree, then I'll kick off it. That way I have something nice and sturdy to launch myself from.
Okay, cool. Yeah, you sizing up this like, flat plateau of water, getting a truly inspirational level of athletic ability coming up.
Yeah, natural 20.
You would you like to describe how you make your way safely across the water?
Well, we come up and we just kind of size it up for a moment. Devin starts to wade. I just take a couple of steps back, run up, springboard off of it, uh, and land both feet forwards, nice and like I've done it 100 times.
Very
Uh,
smooth.
yeah. Put my
Okay.
hands on my waist, all proud. Then turn around.
Devin, you hitch up your socks, prepare yourself to wade through this water. To find that it's about an inch deep. As you kind of step in the first step and quite comfortably just wander over. You do feel a bit of tug from the mud on your boots, but yeah, you quite comfortably make it past um the flooded area.
Flooded in the loosest sense.
Can I have a look around to find like maybe a spot where it's jumpable across? So like a bit where there's maybe like a stone sticking out, and I could just sort of hop onto the other side or something.
Yeah, so you don't see any stones because it actually seems
Or
in
maybe
fact
like
as you're
bit where it narrows or something.
yeah, see, yeah, as you're initially looking for a stone somewhere to jump across, you do notice that there aren't any stones. In fact, you haven't seen very much debris at all, given that this is a dark forested path. Usually you'd expect stones and rocks and bits of wood lying in the road or carcasses or whatever. But it's actually very, very well kept. And very, aside from this inconvenience of the flooding, very easy to walk down. But you find that near the left bank, it's a little bit less deep. This in terms of breadth, and you could with a bit of a running start easily jump over.
I'll
Um,
try and do that.
okay. So yeah, you're all across it, and you again pick up on these footprints carrying on just through this dark little area. Again, the path seems to just keep going, slow descent down, and the hills on either side of the path seem to get higher.
How big are the hills?
Well, where you are now with the water, there, between 3.5 foot.
Okay, so they're like little mounds sort of
Yeah,
on the sides, yeah. So we're
and
almost like in a ditch walking.
yeah, it's almost like some of it's acting like a natural cliff face, almost, but very small. Obviously,
Yeah.
retaining soil, and
Yeah.
some trees are growing
Roots.
like straight up and these big gnarled roots at the base of them.
Mhm.
But you can see further down the path that as you're going further down, these walls on either side of you are staying at a similar level, so they're actually getting quite deep. So at about as far as you can see, 50, 60 feet before the path takes another turn, it looks like they're up to 4+ feet, maybe even 5. And again,
Can I walk along the ridges as we go?
it would be very difficult. There's lots of roots and just trees just growing like flush, almost forming like a tall wall to the side of the path in some places.
I think we'll just carry on then.
Yeah, fuck it. We'll carry on.
Okay. You carry on again. Another half an hour or so. Pretty long path. It's now significantly darker. You don't hear the sound of birds as much as you did. And the walls are now higher than your heads in most parts on either side. And you've noticed that some of them appear to be augmented. They're not just
Dug
natural
out.
earth and stone. They've some areas have been shored up, it looks like, with either planks of wood or carved stone,
Oh.
to make little repairs and patches. The floor is again very good condition, just slowly going down into this now effectively a valley on either side in this narrow path.
Let's be careful here. Might be close.
Do you see any slight signs of movement or anything?
Gotta get a perception check, please.
Yeah.
You're running very well today. You, to your left, up on the ridge of this kind of wall that you're walking past, effectively, where the soil is more like a traditional forest floor. You're now basically down in a trench. You do notice movements. Something small and careful and purposeful in its movements. But it's not moving towards you from what you can see in your periphery.
Continue moving forward. I don't point it or attention to the fact. See.
Okay. You you carry on, but it's now very dark where you are, and Devon, you notice that there seems to be a very faint light. But it's almost an ambient light. And it's quite a gentle pickup in the ambient light around you rather than light from any particular source. But as you've been, heightenedly aware, looking out for this movement again, you seem to notice that. You also hear from your right this time, up on the wall, the sound of just very small, very light rock or pebble or something just scraping or moving in some way that just catches your attention.
As I'm walking along, keeping the move, I pull my lute out and I gently strumming it.
Okay. Can you roll me performance, please? And also let me know what kind of tune you're playing.
Oh, it's not a very good one, apparently. Although you can add 2 to that.
Okay. You
It's just sort of like almost a bit like the splash screen music.
okay? Yeah, it's just very calming, very chill.
Yeah.
Okay, yeah. You. It might be because you're a bit on edge from the movement you saw, but it's not your best performance. You hear back after a little while basically the same melody, but played slightly better. On a what sounds like a flute or some kind of either reed or wind instrument. Yeah, and it's just got a few sharps where you were flat. You know, a slight improvement.
I try to play it back even better this time.
Okay,
Like
can I get a performance check?
chilled wood during banjo. That. Which,
Okay. Yeah, you
marginally better.
as you're playing, you alter slightly what you've heard back, and play it back out. And then you hear the same again. This time it's not the exact same tune. It's got a slight variation on it. It's also coming from a slightly different location. This you can now identify it's definitely coming off from your right, up in these trees, or on the hill.
Should I go there and have a look?
No, I think if we head over there, then maybe. Oh. Move away. Let's keep playing back and forth.
Okay.
All right.
Each
Maybe
time you
go
sorry,
into
go on.
a bit of a song as well. Having, I don't know. I don't know, like a song with sort of lyrics that about friendship, meeting, like that.
No, hey, you recall a touching and inspiring song that you heard at some point in a port somewhere about new beginnings and friendship and fond acquaintances. And with each kind of bit that you play back, you don't hear lyrics come back to you, but you hear the music, and it seems to be getting closer each time. And after I think about after you got through the first verse and you're about to go into the chorus, you hear a second instrument. This one, a quite simple sounding string coming off from your left this time.
Oh, I'm not sure I'm liking this.
I keep playing.
Okay, and are you still making your way down the path, or are you?
I think we sort of we come to a halt point.
All right. Yeah, you carry on playing. Third instrument joins in. This one is I'm running out of instruments that
Trombone.
oh what, sorry?
A drum?
A
A
trombone.
drum.
Trombone.
The trombone. Yeah, this one's like a very very simple horn. There's a bit like brassy. It's just providing some nice off melody bits. So I don't know about music. But you've now got three instruments. One to your right, the wood or reed instrument. One to your left, the string, and then this brassy, trumpety sound coming from behind you.
How far away does it sound?
The string is a fair distance. The wind, reed, is sounding pretty close, and the trumpety sound is very close.
Oh, I turn around to see if there's anyone there.
You see the pathway.
Ah.
No one stood in it.
Jacob's gonna do a few steps back, walk a bit back, and see if he sees anyone.
Okay, how far back are you going? Like it's still
Like where I just maybe begin to lose sight of the party.
okay. You you hear Devon continuing to play, I'm assuming.
Yeah.
And you hear as you're making your way back down the path, you hear the trumpet sound coming quite close. And then you carry on walking, and then you hear the trumpet sound, and it's further away. You've
What the hell?
gone past it, it seems.
What the hell?
What in tarnation?
Where is this? I just start like I just start like splitting bushes right next to me and just looking.
Can I get a investigation check from you?
I'm a bit dumb.
Yeah, I think you can have it with advantage because there is a noise coming from the thing you're looking for.
Okay.
Um, it takes you a while rummaging through these like knotted root systems on these walls and the bushes that are around them.
Where are you, little guy?
You
Come on here.
eventually come across just the very tail end of one of the brass notes, and it's just cut off. But you pin it down to right, it's definitely within a few feet of where you're stood. And it doesn't respond the next time Devon plays.
Yeah, I'm like the moment that I think is there, I'm gonna like sort of launch myself in that direction.
Okay.
Try and catch who or what is there.
As you scrabble up onto this little hill area, using the roots for handholds and whatnot, your foot connects with something hollow and wooden, and it just makes a very familiar kind of noise.
Ooh, looking down. Am I? Is this like a house, like in the ground or something?
You see that your right foot is right outside a round wooden door, very small, only not even up to your kneecap, and expertly camouflaged.
I just like give it like a light sort of lock with my fingers. A knock with my fingers.
You don't get any answer.
Hello. Hello. I am. Can you show yourselves?
Nothing happens.
I want to make my way back to the path.
Okay.
Hey guys. This might we might be here. This well, I mean, there's a house here. I guess.
There's a house?
Well,
Did you say a house?
Well, I mean, it's in the ground. It's more of a hole with a door, I guess. Or I guess we're in the middle of it. I guess they're just hiding.
Have you not? I'm still
I
playing.
have not. Just come over here.
I'll go over there.
Are the other instruments still playing?
They're still going, yeah.
And are they getting closer, or are they sort of static?
Up until the point when you hear the call to go and have a look and that someone's found a house, they were getting closer, but now it seems like at least the string one is moving away.
I call it up. Don't go.
No response.
Well, I'm
I
not
don't
going anywhere. I'm waiting for you to come here.
Just stuck in the middle, like
Start wandering
doing that
over
John
towards,
Travolta thing. Like, what are we doing?
towards Jacob, looking back at where the reed sounds from.
Sorry.
Where's his door?
Yeah.
I guess you are like super quiet.
Hmm.
Oh, sorry.
So,
Where's this door then?
I'm gonna try and show it to them.
Okay, yeah. You now that you've
It's a
seen
very old door.
it's fairly easy to spot again. But it is very, very low. Very small. And perfectly round and very well camouflaged.
How
And-
small are we talking? Like,
Yeah, we're talking too small for a halfling.
Um a small one could like crawl in, but we talking
not like standing halfling.
Talking
no
gnome
two
rather.
feet max
Right.
in diameter.
So
We
like
were
already
enough
small.
for us to pop our head in, but that's about it.
Yeah, I think a small person like human could kind of jam themselves in, but you're not gonna enjoy
not
it.
all fours. Yeah.
Don't make any friends.
What kind of tiny people live here? I am.
I think you've hit the nail on the head there, man. Tiny people.
Well, what kind of tiny people?
Well, smaller than a dwarf.
Of the small variety.
You
What am I
think?
getting?
Like, have any of you ever seen gnomes? They're pretty small.
I guess I've seen.
Mugging about the city, but
Yeah, well, I
And
wouldn't
home.
expect them to live in holes like this.
so
is,
say we find some tiny creatures here. I would try and ask him about the forest. I don't think this is the Brigand's bog.
Well, that's what we're going to ask them about. Brigand Bog. See
And
if
you've
they can
already
give us
knocked, right?
any sort of what's the word I'm looking for? Intelligence on what's going on there. What we might run into.
Jacob, you've knocked, right?
I have knocked, and I'm going to knock again. Hello, we're just here to talk. Can we get some help?
We don't mean anybody any harm.
Well, not here at least.
You
Friends of the forest.
hear
We're here with the
voice.
forest blessing.
You hear a very small voice behind you that says, "They won't answer."
Oh,
Oh, well, you did. Howdy.
Who's there? Do you see anyone?
what? Can I see this person?
No.
Where are you?
As you ask that, a bush, just slightly, you know, as you're turning around from the door, a bush on your left, and ahead of you, seems to almost disgorge a tiny, female figure that you see has almost a painted body, clothes, everything, just camouflaged. But it appears to be a very small female gnome who returns the greeting and says, "Howdy."
Um.
D is good, yes. um, we're looking to get our way to Brigand's Bog. Any advice you can give us to facilitate that?
This small girl, you see, she, from her back, gets a little wooden lute, I guess. Obviously a handmade instrument. And then just points with it back down the road that you've come from.
Well, yeah. So, we're wondering if maybe you knew anything about it. We've never been, and well, we'd like to know what we're getting ourselves into before we go.
I feel like we should sort of stress as well that we're no friends of people that reside in Brigand's.
Yeah, I guess that's why we want to make sure we know what we're getting into.
Like I say, we're friends of the forest. Nice spirit up that way. Asked us to take care of the people at the Brigand's Bog. Get them gone.
Maybe you might know something that could help us do that.
And she's just kind of letting out this high pitched for a almost uncomfortably long time. Okay.
Okay, cool.
Okay. We're getting somewhere.
Your name?
Okay. You so you know something?
Oh, I know lots of things.
So
Lots.
so are you I'm just like looking at the others like, are you able to
So my name's Devon. This is Temerity, and this is Jacob.
I tipped my hat.
What's your name?
She seems to focus in on Jacob's hat a little bit, and she pretends to take off a hat, and does a curtsy. I'm Irvin.
It's a lovely name.
She just stares.
So, what can you tell us about them?
About what?
The bog where you pointed. It's a lovely
Oh.
instrument.
Oh, thank you. It was my grandmother's. It's that way, but you shouldn't go there.
So well, why shouldn't we go there? What's so bad?
Well, it's a bad place. We don't go there. You shouldn't go there either. If you
The
Well,
guardian of the tree
no,
sent
wouldn't
us.
advise it.
We've got to go.
see,
We've got-
it's a bad place with bad people, and that's why we're going there to, I guess,
Let's
stop
do the
them,
acorn.
Make it better. Yeah.
make
Oh.
it a less of a bad place. You know.
You need an acorn.
We're searching for some acorns for the guardian of the forest.
I have acorn.
With the is it like a waxy stuff on the outside, like a acorns wrapped in baby bell wax.
No, but I know where the bees are. I could get wax as well.
Don't worry about the acorns. Just some more. Do you know how many people are there, or you just don't go there at all?
People like me or people like you?
I guess.
Probably
Oh, who's
people
there?
like
What
us.
type of people?
Well, there's the bad people, and there's the people who used to live here.
Who are the
Used
bad
to live
people?
here.
Are they like us?
And Jean kind of looks you all over. No, they don't play songs, but they're tall. And they have mean faces and smelly hair.
And
Bandits. Okay.
do you know how many?
Lots and lots.
Oh. Do you know anything about dogs they might have?
That this she seems to not recoil, but or starts to drift off in thought. And before responding, no, I don't know anything about this.
Is she
Come now, we can make that place not so much of a bad place. Gotta help us here. What are you hiding?
She pulls out another wooden instrument and kind of holds it. Well, this
What's that?
it's my backup flute.
About the dog. It seemed like you were thinking about something, but you didn't want to tell us. What was that?
Just that I don't like to think about the dog. No one here does. It's big and
What?
vicious.
We
How
like to
big is
think
it?
about it.
Vicious.
The more we think about it, the less vicious it'll be.
It would eat you in one bite.
Us or you?
And your hat.
How big is it?
That's what Papa said. He said that it's the enormous. In and she almost struggles with saying the word. Enormous.
I'll turn to
So
the other guy. Can we go back to the part where there are loads of
Lots.
there? Did we know that there was going to be lots of them?
There was some I don't know.
I mean, it's a hideout, right? There's bound to be a couple of people watching it.
Yeah.
Lots and lots and lots, she said.
That could be 8. Who knows?
I guess. Well, that depends how many of these gnomes are here, because if there's only about 5 of them, then I'm sure 10 is lots. But if this is a village of 100, then I'm sure 200 bandits is a lot to them. You know?
I'm not saying this wee one just isn't the cutest thing on the planet, but I do believe we'd be better served by just going and looking. We're gonna need to be
Yeah.
there anyway.
We're sorry to have wasted your time. and ours. Um, but it feels like we're kind of intruding.
I mean, I don't think you're wrong, seeing young Irwin here, the only one who came out to say hello. Are we overstaying our welcome, Irvin?
I don't know.
I mean,
Um,
fair enough.
Well, the others don't want to talk to us, so I'm gonna assume that
Well,
they don't want us here.
they're just scared. They're not brave like me.
Hmm.
I mean, could you tell them that we mean them no harm, or we've
Tell them we mean no harm or I'll kill you.
I prefer we'll tell them we mean you no harm because well we haven't killed you.
Can I get
Don't
a
mention the K word
persuasion
at all.
for your request?
Of
What?
Okay. She very cautiously walks up to you. Again, covered in camouflage, incredibly well done. And she's again very short. She reaches up a hand and she plucks one of the strings of your lute, and it makes a quite a, like nicely plucked note, but it's just a ding. And then she puts her hands to her mouth and makes a bird call. Um, but surprisingly loud for such a small creature. And then you see and hear movement all around you. So the door that you were knocking on, kind of, you hear a slight of a catch or something. You hear the same from a few other places, and in various bits around the path, you see little doors open as the camouflage becomes ineffective as the angles change. And you see little heads pop up, kind of up on the ridge line. There's, I mean, not a huge amount, but there's quite a few heads popping out of the holes now, having to crawl out because of the small profile of the doors.
Oh, that is
Um,
adorable.
but yeah, all gnomes, all different styles, most of them camouflaged. You notice a lot of older gnomes, not very many young ones, and barely any children.
Have you been this an old village?
Sorry, I didn't catch that.
Is this an old village? Have you been here for long?
As it, yeah. Sorry, my computer's being weird. As Irvin kind of steps back and is about to speak, an older gnome comes, puts his hand on her shoulder, and kind of just pulls her away from you a little bit, and looks up at you all and one to the other, and kind of squints his eyes. This village has been here for before your great grandparents were born, I should wager.
Oh. We're sorry to have disturbed the peace.
He looks down at Irvin. Well, you're not entirely alone in the blame for that, I suspect.
Did you happen to hear what we were talking about? We were explaining why we was here.
We heard much. Not very many things can pass in this part of the forest without us hearing it. We heard the tall tales of a excitable girl and the promises of heroic salvation from some long-shinned strangers. I've heard these things before in my many years.
Can't promise that we'll do it, but promise that we'll try.
And what is it exactly that you'll try?
Now, Irvin didn't seem to know what I was talking about. Do you know the guardian of the forest? The
I'm familiar.
tree? Well, we met her not too long. She's tasked us with retrieving the acorn.
And you are doing this out of the goodness of your heart?
Yeah.
Jacob looks left and right.
Had some dealings with Fae things in the past, and maybe my ignorance is showing and I'm looping them all together, but good to stay on the good side. It could be beneficial as well, but frankly, sometimes doing the good thing can be good for its own sake.
He kind of squint stares all three of you down at the same time with his wizened little eyes. Benefit. That is more in line with your kind's motives. That does not mean that you cannot do good. You intend to go to the bog, to the bandits?
Yeah, that's where let's see. We believe we found a way, or at least a direct path.
At this, all of the gnomes just kind of point back the way
Yeah,
that you came.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's
Yeah.
just
That way.
we were trying to figure out a less direct approach. Something where maybe we can, well, not be spotted there, or you know.
And what will you do with the men who are there?
Well, if
Largely
it is like you
and
say, if
there
there's lots and lots, it might be difficult for us to get rid of them. We could try, but we can't tell for sure. But we definitely would harm whatever they're doing.
Harm is a very broad word. You are killers?
We can be, but not by trade.
And he looks to each of you. This is a work for serious individuals. You should go back to the city. Forget what the Guardian asked. You cannot help us.
quite surprised you.
Hmm.
Sorry, I was interrupted. What were you guys saying?
They're saying
The
that we're not probably not capable of doing this, and we should just go back to the sea.
he asked if you were killers,
Yeah.
and then decided it seems that you weren't quite stern enough stuff to do what he had in mind.
Oh, well, I'll just say in response to that then, it seems like the bandits are harassing people around here, forest spirits alike. I like to put a stop to them. While I try to avoid it when I can, I killed quite a few.
He looks at Temerity for a while. And then kind of nods his head. Perhaps. At least one of you may be able to. Very well. What do you need to know?
Anything about the numbers?
If there's a hidden way through the forest that could get us there.
There are
Something
always
about a
hidden
dog?
ways.
Do you know if there's a hidden way to the leader? Maybe we can take him out nice and quick.
The leader changes. We haven't investigated that way for at least a week. But there were 12 of them when we last saw. But it changes from day to day. Sometimes as few as 3 will tend to the camp they have there. But there is always the dog.
What can you tell us about the dog?
Yeah, dog.
And every time the word dog is mentioned, a few seem to recoil around you. The old man doesn't, but you can see that Erwin is kind of moving behind him as the conversation turns to this topic.
We can use a different term. How about puppy?
Mhm.
Beast.
That beast is no dog. It
Not
is
a dog. Okay.
a creature of pure malice and unending appetite. It is held there by great iron chains. It is not allowed to hunt. It is not allowed to. Mercifully, it is not let loose in this forest. But it feeds, and it grows. And one day, if faith be with us, it will turn on those who have enabled it and remove them from this place only to starve a wretched and slow death on its own, abandoned in that vile camp.
Well, hopefully we can hasten that fate. Do you have any poisons of any type? Be it
We
damaging or mind-numbing, perhaps? Make it go wild?
We are not a militant people. We have
Sure. But do you have any
few-
medicines, perhaps, to numb the pain?
We have medicines, but we do not waste such valuable items on monsters such as these.
On assassinations?
Now, I appreciate flowery languages. The next musically inclined person. How much of that was exaggeration? Just between you and just a dog, yeah. Big dog maybe, but still a dog.
When does an animal corrupted by avarice fed upon the still living bodies of innocents, day
By
after
average.
day, stop being just a dog and become something that strikes fear into the hearts of all those who see it. To you, it may be a trifling matter, but to us, it is genocide.
What are they feeding it?
5 people by the sound
You
of
hear
What
a
people?
few sobs
it.
from the
Those
gnomes
people by the
gathered
guess.
around you. We
Look,
were
we'll,
not,
we'll put the dog down.
we were not always so few in number. When they came and they took us, we thought it would be to labor. And it was for a while. But then it turned to their sport. And now there are few, and we hide. So, is the creature I'm speaking of technically a mortal dog? I suppose. Probably is. I won't be going near enough to find out.
I hope it's just a border collie.
Chihuahua.
But do not underestimate it or those who handle it and have made it into the beast it is.
I'm sorry to
where does
hear.
it usually reside in their camp?
Sorry, I didn't catch the start of that, Angus.
Sorry, where does this thing tend to reside within the camp?
As most dogs do at the hearth. There is a fire they keep burning all day and all night. And there the dog is staked.
You know if it's staked close enough to push it into the fire.
It has a fairly wide range. It sleeps by the fire, but it would take many gnomes to push it. I don't know how strong you are, but I would recommend that you just fire arrows at it until it stops moving. Don't go near it if you can
Do that.
avoid it.
Pull out my hand
Yeah.
crossbow.
That does sound like the better idea. We are quite low on equipment though. Do you have an extra bow or something? Do we all have ranged gear?
Have some drinks.
I mean, yeah, I've got my crossbow.
Okay. Do you mind if I impose upon y'all? y'all? Impose upon you all to let me borrow a bow, just in case I needed to rid this plane of that dog, that hound.
We have only hunting bows. And then he kind of gestures over to someone who disappears behind a bush.
Yeah, sounds like I'm going hunting then.
A little while, only a matter of seconds later, this gnome, youngish for compared to the group, but he looks like he's balding, a bit grey. Comes along with this very small bow.
So a short bow.
Yeah, more or less unusable for you.
Is it more or less, or is it mechanically unusable?
You can draw back the string and fire it, but you would certainly take a disadvantage to the shot.
You know what? I've got a. How about do you have any extra daggers on you?
They kind of all look around. One of them.
I don't know
Right.
if you're asking the right
I
questions here.
think
To where it's
our daggers would probably be nearly as large as them. I pull out my dagger. Bit of a
You notice
Bowie
a
knife.
tensing in the air as you do this. It is a rather large knife to these little
Put it
gnomes.
away.
I'll bring out my knife and put the handle towards the Adamant, the leader. Do you have anything about this size?
Yeah.
A little smaller would be fine.
How big is this knife?
It's just like a normal dagger, so
No,
maybe
okay.
like a combat knife by our standards.
He pulls back his cloak. He's got kind of
A
on
gun.
his hip. He just starts blasting.
So anyway, I started blasting.
He's got on this hip and his hip. This it's like a gnarled wooden, almost bark handle that he pulls out, and as he pulls it out, it's a very white metal alloy. To you, it's a long dagger. To him, it's like a sword. And he looks it over, holding it like with a pommel towards you, and his hand on the blade, and then offers it to you.
Yeah. All right.
But before you take it, he leans it back towards him. As there is a condition in giving you this weapon.
Absolutely. Let's hear it.
You must kill them all. If one survives, they will wait and come back and start again. And you must free any gnomes that you see.
Okay. Well, I was already planning to do that second part. You two good with making sure there's no escapees?
I'll do my best. I'm really sorry that a sheltered community like yours has experienced such a hard time. It shouldn't happen.
Agreed. See, maybe I shouldn't use this metaphor on these people, but that's why bigger dogs exist. Keep these smaller ones in line. I think we might be the big dogs in this situation.
You get a few raised eyebrows.
The bigger, nicer dogs. I'll smile at them.
I'm just gonna whisper to his ear. I'm not sure that was the metaphor I'd go for.
Yeah, but it was
Probably
funny.
a bullshit dog metaphors. Bigger fish, maybe.
Sure, but I'm not talking about fish. Oh, never mind. I'll take the dagger, and then I'll say, by your words, may this dog be slain.
He seems to appreciate your attempt at gallant poetry. He nods ahead. And says, when do you intend to do it?
Probably next session, given the time. I'd want to do it today, but
within a day, I guess.
yeah, within a day or so.
I wouldn't be adverse to maybe sticking around
speak up.
for a little bit. I wouldn't be adverse to maybe sticking around a little bit for some rest. Didn't really sleep last night.
Yeah. I mean, we could rest now, then attack at daybreak. While they're still groggy. Maybe a little bit before if you want to do it nice and sneaky like.
I mean, what sort of time is it now?
It's starting to get towards late evening. Well, late afternoon, coming into evening. The sun is on its downward trajectory.
Yeah, so if we stop for a rest, we could maybe there, like in the small house.
Okay.
Yeah.
Thing.
Do you
Uh,
mind
the-
sheltering us for a night?
You'll not fit in our boat, but we can prepare something for you. And as to the time of your attack, it is about an hour from here as a gnome goes through the routes that we know. And we may be able to aid you in ensuring that you are not seen beforehand.
Think
Oh,
And he
go a
kind of
long way.
gestures
That'd
to
be perfect.
the camouflage.
That would be most handy.
I think that
um,
means that would be very helpful.
yeah, yeah. He nods to both of you, hands over the daggery sword to Merity, and then he kind of flicks his hands in the air, almost as if kind of shooing everyone away. And then they all kind of wander off, I guess, almost as quickly as they all popped up. Doors shut silently and recamouflage into the woods. And you find yourself more or less alone with just this old man and this young girl. As he just lets you know, we will provide shelter and some nourishment for you. And then tomorrow, we will help you with your attire.
Perfect.
We
I was
thank
into that. Reach into my pocket with my coat and pull up a bottle of Molly's. Pull it, like throw it in the air and catch it, and bite the cork out, spit it in. Take a swig. Would you like some?
And he very politely holds his hand up and goes, I'm afraid I will have to abstain. But enjoy yourselves. It may be the last night. All I ask is that you keep from the path in case others may find their way. Sorry. I broke it. Yeah,
right.
Evan will show you where to go. And he can
Fantastic. Thank you.
wanders off. Evan gestures over to her. You kind of go up a steep scrabble and then down into what's basically a rift between two big trees where the soil is eroded away and been moved away. And it's been made good with stone. So it's kind of like you're in a crescent moon shape with this stone behind you. It's very sheltered from the wind. There's a space for a little fire pit. It looks like the kind of like gathering place that these gnomes may have used previously, but now it's fairly empty. The fire pit clearly hasn't been used in a long time. But there's enough space for you to all lay down. There's a few gnomes like bringing bundles of leaves and straw and whatnot for you to make a bed. Yeah, it's fairly pleasant.
Yeah.
Cool.
Thank you,
Camping in the
Evan.
woods.
And with that, being aware of the time for Angus in particular, we can retcon this tomorrow if we have any particular idea, next session, sorry, as to what happens in the night. But once you all do go to sleep, you all find yourselves feeling a little bit more powerful.
Cool. We're here.
Nice. That's gonna be very helpful. We have to fight something tomorrow.
Yeah.
Oh, Michael's got me
I
saying
actually
tomorrow as well.
forgot we
You
were
guys just
level
wanna play
1 until
tomorrow.
I was like, hey, we can handle a fight, and I was like, oh shit, we're level 1.
Mm. Yeah, I try not to think of my character's level
Yeah,
at level 1 because in the mind they're badasses. So you just gotta you gotta play them as they probably think of themselves.
yeah,
At
yeah.
least somewhat competent. But yeah, I don't know. It was fun.
Yeah, apologies
Awesome.
again for the short nature of the session,
That's right.
and the slightly
Not a
impromptu
problem at all.
content. Next week will
Short
be
is
more
fine.
standardized.
Cool.
Okay then.
Let's
So
stop it.
just to clarify, that is a level up.